Have you ever sat alone in a quiet room after the noise of life has finally faded and asked a question you were afraid to say out loud? Not angrily, not loudly, just a whisper into the stillness. Why am I alone now? The room doesn't answer. The walls remain the same. The clock keeps ticking as if nothing important has been asked at all. And yet, something inside you shifts. Because loneliness does not arrive all at once. It enters slowly, like dusk. One day, people stop calling as often. One chair stays empty at the table. One voice is missing from the evening air. And before you realize it, you are living inside a silence you never asked for. Many people believe loneliness is a punishment, a sign that something has gone wrong, that God has taken something precious away. But what if that isn't true? What if loneliness is not God removing love, but God clearing space for it? This is a story about that space, about faith that grows quietly, and about how God sometimes prepares a heart by gently quieting the world around it. In a small countryside village where narrow dirt roads curved gently between modest houses, there lived an old woman named Sumaiya. The village did not appear on maps. It was the kind of place people passed through without noticing. Fields stretched wide and patient, bending softly in the wind like they had all the time in the world. Sumaiya's house sat near the edge of those fields. It was small, wooden walls worn smooth by years of weather, a simple roof that creaked during heavy rain. But when people stepped inside, something changed. The air felt calmer. Voices softened without effort. Even tired hearts seemed to rest there. Sumaiya walked slowly. Her steps were careful, measured. She spoke gently, as though every word deserved kindness before being released. She believed, quietly, deeply, that God lived wherever kindness lived. And she tried each day to make her home a place where kindness never ran out. There was a time when Sumaiya's life was filled with sound. Her husband, Raihan, was a man who laughed easily, the kind of laugh that filled a room before his body did. He worked the land with strong hands and steady patience. Their son, Daniel, followed him everywhere, curious, restless, always asking questions. Questions about the soil, about the sky, about God. Evenings were warm with conversation. Meals were simple but shared. Prayers were spoken quietly before sleep. Hands joined in the soft glow of a single lamp. Sumaiya often thanked God, not for wealth, not for comfort, but for enough food, enough love, enough peace to feel whole. She didn't know how fragile enough could be. Sickness came quietly. At first, it looked like nothing more than fatigue. Raihan sat down more often. His laughter softened. Then days grew heavier, his breath shorter. Sumaiya stayed beside him through long nights. She fed him slowly, held his hand when the pain made him restless. She whispered prayers she had learned as a child. Some nights she begged God to heal him. Other nights she simply asked God to stay close. When Raihan passed away one early morning, the house felt suddenly too large, too quiet. The chair across from her remained empty. The air held a stillness that pressed against her chest. Sumaiya cried alone, her face buried in her hands, asking God why love had to hurt so deeply. And yet, within that pain, something unexpected happened. Alongside grief, there was a presence. The silence hurt, but it was not empty. It felt watched, held, as if God had not left with her husband, but had stepped closer instead. After her husband's death, Sumaiya's body grew slower. Her hands trembled when she worked. her back bent under years of labor. Still, she rose each morning before the sun. She believed something simple and firm. God does not give strength for the whole future, only for the day in front of us. So she took the day as it came. When Daniel grew older, he left the village for work in the city. At first, he returned often. He brought loud stories, bright gifts, laughter that filled the house again. But time changed things. Visits became shorter, then rarer. Eventually, months passed without him coming home at all. Sumaiya learned to eat her evening meals alone. She learned the sound of wind moving through fields at night. She learned how quiet a house could become. Some nights, loneliness pressed heavily on her chest. She would sit at the table, hands folded, and whisper, "Is this what remains for me?" But every morning, she still rose, washed her face, lit her small lamp, and thanked God for life. She never asked for loneliness to be taken away. She only asked to be useful. Sumaiya cooked simple food, cleaned her small home, worked in her garden where her hands touched soil and her heart felt closest to God. Children passing by often stopped at her gate. She welcomed them with bread and fruit, listened patiently to their small worries. She believed God listened the same way, to every heart, no matter how small. Some villagers wondered why she gave so much when she lived alone. Sumaiya would smile and say, "Loneliness is not empty when God is present." Even animals seemed drawn to her home. Birds rested on her roof. A thin old dog waited outside her door each day. Sumaiya would pet its head gently and whisper, "God sends those who need love." One summer, Daniel returned from the city. He looked tired, restless. He watched his mother moving slowly through her days, still giving, still serving, still opening her door. Confused, he finally said, "Mother, why do you work so hard? People will forget you. You should rest." Sumaiya looked at him with soft eyes. "My son," she said, "God has not forgotten me, and as long as I can give love, I am not alone." Daniel did not understand. To him, loneliness meant failure. A full life meant noise and company, not quiet service. That evening, a poor traveler came asking for food. Sumaiya welcomed him without hesitation. Before leaving, the man said, "May God return your kindness when your strength is gone." Daniel heard the words, but their meaning had not yet reached his heart. As months passed, Sumaiya's health weakened. Her steps grew shorter, her nights longer. Loneliness returned sometimes, heavy and sharp. But instead of growing bitter, she prayed deeper. She trusted that God was shaping her heart in ways she could not yet see. One winter, she became very ill. She could no longer stand, could no longer cook. And when the villagers heard, something unexpected happened. People came. Women brought soup and medicine. Children sat beside her bed, fanning her gently. Men stood outside, praying quietly. In that moment, Sumaiya understood. None of her kindness had been lost. God had kept it all. Daniel rushed back when he heard the news. Seeing the room filled with people, his heart finally broke open. He held her hand and cried, "Mother, you are never alone." Sumaiya smiled weakly and whispered, "God never takes love away. He only moves it." After she recovered, Daniel begged her to come live with him. Afraid of losing her, she prayed and felt peace. The city was loud, crowded. Sometimes even there, loneliness returned. Until one day, Daniel took her to an orphanage. When he asked if she would help there, tears filled her eyes. She cooked, told stories, held children when they cried. They called her Grandma Sumaiya. Her heart felt full again. When Sumaiya passed away peacefully, People came from everywhere: children, neighbors, strangers. Daniel stood quietly, understanding at last.
Her lonely seasons were never empty. They were guided. When God makes you lonely, He is not punishing you. He is preparing you. He removes noise so you can hear love clearly. He removes people so your heart can grow wider. If you feel lonely today, remember this: God may be shaping you into light for someone else. Love given through God never disappears. It only finds new places to live.